That smell. That incredible, pungent, earthy smell. That's the smell of success, right there, fresh from the soil. You've put in the work, nurtured these beautiful bulbs, and now you're holding a harvest that's pure gold. But what if I told you that this moment, right here, is the key to unlocking a perpetual garlic supply? Imagine never having to buy garlic from the store again. Never wondering if it's been treated with sprout inhibitors, or if it's even the right variety for your garden. This year's harvest isn't just dinner, it's next year's crop, and the year after that, and the year after that. We're going to turn these glorious bulbs into a self-sustaining garlic machine, right in your backyard. For 30 years, I've been perfecting this cycle, and it all starts with the moment you pull that garlic from the ground. The first crucial step, even before curing, is selection. Not every bulb is destined for replanting. You're looking for the absolute best of your harvest, the cream of the crop. Forget the small, the oddly shaped, or any bulb that shows even a hint of disease or pest damage. Those are for eating. For seed stock, you want the largest, healthiest, most vigorous bulbs you've grown. Think of it like choosing the best parents for your next generation. If you plant small, weak cloves, you'll get small, weak bulbs. It's that simple. Now, a common mistake I see gardeners make, especially new ones, is thinking they can just grab a head of garlic from the grocery store and plant it. Please, don't do that. Most store-bought garlic, particularly the conventional stuff, has been treated to prevent sprouting. It's also often a softneck variety that might not be suited for your climate, especially if you're in a colder region needing hardneck varieties. Plus, you have no idea where it came from or what diseases it might be carrying. You could introduce a whole host of problems to your garden. Stick with your own, or source certified disease-free seed garlic from a reputable grower. That's how you build a resilient, productive garden. Once you've carefully selected your prime candidates for next year's crop, the real magic begins: curing. Curing is not just drying, it's a critical process that toughens the outer wrappers, seals in the moisture, and prepares the garlic for long-term storage. Without proper curing, your beautiful bulbs will sprout prematurely, shrivel, or worse, rot. It's the difference between a year's supply and a pile of compost. So, how do you cure garlic correctly? The ideal environment is warm, dry, and well ventilated. Think of a shaded porch, a garage with open windows, or a shed. You want temperatures between 60 and 80 degrees Fahrenheit, with relative humidity around 50 to 70%. Crucially, keep it out of direct sunlight. Sunlight will cook your garlic, turning it green and bitter, and significantly reducing its storage life. Hang your garlic in bundles of 5 to 10 bulbs, leaving the stems and roots intact. This allows the plant to draw remaining nutrients from the leaves and stems into the bulb, further enhancing its storage potential. If you don't have space to hang, you can lay them out on screens or racks, ensuring good airflow all around each bulb. Don't pile them up, that's a recipe for mold. The curing process typically takes anywhere from 2 to 4 weeks, depending on your climate and the humidity levels. How do you know when it's done? You'll see several clear signs. The outer wrappers will become papery and dry, almost like tissue paper. The stems, which were green and pliable when harvested, will dry completely and become stiff and brittle. If you try to bend a cured stem, it should snap cleanly. The roots will also be completely dry and shriveled. This is your signal that the curing is complete and your garlic is ready for the next stage. After curing, it's time to clean and trim your garlic. This isn't just for aesthetics, it's vital for preventing disease and maximizing storage life. First, gently brush off any loose soil from the bulbs. Don't wash them, introducing moisture at this stage can lead to rot. Next, trim the roots. I usually leave about 1/4 to 1/2 inch of root material. This helps protect the base of the bulb. Then, trim the stem. For hardneck varieties, I cut the stem about 1 inch above the bulb. For softneck varieties, if you plan to braid them, you'll leave the stems long, about 10 to 12 inches. If not braiding, trim them like hardnecks. Finally, remove the outermost, dirtiest layers of skin, but be careful not to expose the individual cloves. You want to leave at least 2 to 3 layers of papery wrapper intact to protect the cloves from drying out and from potential pathogens. This meticulous cleaning ensures your garlic stays healthy and viable for months. Now we move to storage, and this is where many gardeners stumble. The goal is to keep your garlic dormant, preventing it from sprouting too early or succumbing to rot. The ideal storage conditions are cool, dark, and dry, with good air circulation. Temperatures between 45 and 60 degrees Fahrenheit are perfect for long-term storage without encouraging sprouting. Anything colder, like refrigerator temperatures below 40 degrees, can actually trick the garlic into thinking winter has passed, causing it to sprout prematurely when brought back to warmer temperatures. This is called vernalization, and while necessary for hardneck garlic to form bulbs, it's not what you want for storage. So, where do you store it? My go-to method is mesh bags, like onion bags or even old pantyhose. These allow excellent airflow. Hang them in a cool pantry, a basement, or a closet. If you have softneck varieties, braiding them is a fantastic traditional method that looks beautiful and provides great air circulation. Just make sure the braids aren't too tight, which can restrict airflow. Avoid storing garlic in plastic bags or airtight containers. These trap moisture and create a perfect breeding ground for mold and fungi. You'll lose your entire crop that way. Regularly check your stored garlic, perhaps once a month, for any signs of spoilage, soft spots, or mold. Remove any compromised bulbs immediately to prevent the problem from spreading to others. A single bad apple, or in this case, a bad garlic bulb, can spoil the whole bunch. With your garlic properly cured and stored, you've already won half the battle. But the real payoff comes when it's time to plant for next year. For most of us in zones 3 through 9, that means fall planting. Generally, you want to get your garlic in the ground about 4 to 6 weeks before your first hard frost. This allows the cloves enough time to establish a root system before the ground freezes, but not enough time to send up much top growth. For instance, in USDA Zone 5, I'm usually planting in late September or early October. For Zone 7, you might be looking at late October or early November. In warmer climates, like Zone 9 or 10, you might even plant as late as December or January. Or even early spring if you're growing softneck varieties that don't require a cold period. When it's planting time, carefully break apart your chosen bulbs into individual cloves. Do this gently, as close to planting time as possible. Each healthy, plump clove is a potential new bulb. Again, select the largest, healthiest cloves from your best bulbs. Don't plant the tiny inner cloves, they'll produce tiny bulbs. Plant the big ones for big results. Hardneck varieties will generally have fewer, larger cloves per bulb, while softnecks have more, smaller cloves. When planting, orient the clove with the flat, root end down and the pointed end up. Plant them about 2 to 4 inches deep and 4 to 6 inches apart, in rows that are 12 to 18 inches apart. A well-drained, fertile soil is key. Amend your beds with plenty of compost before planting. Now, here's an insider technique that experienced growers often use, but you won't always find in basic gardening books: a pre-planting soak. Before you plant your cloves, consider soaking them in a solution for a few hours. A common mix is a tablespoon of baking soda and a tablespoon of liquid seaweed per gallon of water. The baking soda can help combat fungal issues, and the seaweed provides a boost of trace minerals and hormones that encourage strong root development. I've found this simple step can significantly improve germination rates and overall plant vigor, giving your young garlic plants a fantastic head start even before winter sets in. Let's talk about some common mistakes that can derail your self-sustaining garlic journey. First, planting cloves that are too small. As I mentioned, small cloves yield small bulbs. Be ruthless in your selection. Second, not providing adequate drainage. Garlic hates wet feet and will rot in waterlogged soil. Raised beds are fantastic for garlic because they offer excellent drainage. Third, planting too shallow or too deep. Too shallow, and the cloves can heave out of the ground during winter freezes. Too deep, and they might struggle to emerge in spring. Stick to that 2 to 4 inch depth. Fourth, neglecting soil fertility. Garlic is a heavy feeder. It needs rich, organic soil. Don't skimp on the compost. And finally, not rotating your crops. Planting garlic in the same spot year after year can lead to a buildup of pests and diseases specific to alliums. Aim for a 3 to 4 year rotation cycle if possible. For those of you in the southern hemisphere, like our friends in Australia or New Zealand, remember your seasons are inverted. So, while we in the northern hemisphere are planting in autumn, you'll be looking at planting in late autumn or early winter, around April or May, for a summer harvest. The principles of selection, curing, and storage remain exactly the same, but your planting window shifts. Always check with your local extension office for the most precise planting dates for your specific microclimate. Creating a self-sustaining garlic supply is one of the most rewarding things you can do in your garden. It's a testament to patience, good planning, and a little bit of gardening know-how. From the moment you pull that first bulb, knowing it's going to feed you and your garden for years to come, there's an incredible sense of accomplishment. You're not just growing food, you're cultivating a cycle, a living tradition that connects you directly to the earth. So, go ahead, pick out those perfect bulbs, cure them with care, store them wisely, and plant them with intention. You're not just growing garlic, you're growing independence. If you've been inspired to start your own perpetual garlic patch, hit that like button and join our garden community by subscribing. I'd love to hear from you. What's your favorite garlic variety to grow, and what USDA zone are you in? Let me know in the comments below. And if you're wondering how to get the most out of your raised beds for a bumper garlic crop, make sure to check out our next video where I'll show you my top tips for maximizing yield in small spaces. Happy gardening!